What's going on, guys? Here's where I'm at on the forge. I have a small layer, or a real thin layer, of the refractory cement. That's basically just to make it a flat bottom. And then I have the fire brick that I put in there and cut it all out. I'll put in pictures of what that looks like. And then once that's in there, I put a decent size layer, maybe a half-inch layer of the refractory cement on top of that. And on the lid, you can probably see the screw right here that's sticking out. I had a whole bunch of screws that I had welded in there just sporadically all over the place. From there, I put refractory cement on that, and then I had this wire mesh that I poked and had the screws poking through that. And then from there, I would lay like another screw on it like that, and then weld it on there. So that would keep this screw from coming through here. So like if this little twig was a screw, I would weld a screw on like this, and then that way this screen could not come off. But I did that, I don't know, I have probably 20 screws down in there. So now, and this has a weird feel to it. It's kind of a rubbery feel. I mixed it up really well. I don't know, it's weird. So I hope I did it right. It didn't come with any instructions or anything, so we'll go from there. But now what I'll do is I'll put another thin layer on, and then I will put the insulation fabric, and then probably another layer on top of that insulation fabric, and then the lid will be done. For this, haven't quite figured out how I want to do that yet. I might just do like a concrete tube structure and put in here's this box here that has the insulation fabric. So I did a little bit more work this weekend. I don't really like how this turned out, but it is what it is. So I was able to put a little bit of the refractory cement down along the sides. I tried to coat the outside of this and then put the fiber blanket in there and kind of smash it up there. That didn't work. It kept falling down, and I tried to make it thick. It wouldn't stick. I tried to make it thin. It wouldn't stick. I was having issues. I put a layer on top, it just didn't work. I cut a hole in the side, which that's where the burner's gonna go. And as far as the lid, I did what I said I did. I put a little bit of a layer underneath, and then the fiber, and then this layer, and it works. I just don't know for how long. Now my other big issue is whenever I have this in here and it's going at full blast and everything, whenever I put the lid on, there's not enough oxygen in there. It tries to burn itself out. So I think what I need to do, and I'll do some more research before I actually do it, but I think I'm going to drill some holes in here. Let's see, they're
propane tip is about right here. So I think if I drill some holes in here and this is shooting past this way, it should suck in fresh air and hopefully suck in enough oxygen to keep things burning. Because like I said, as soon as I put that lid on there, it almost snuffs it out, and you can smell the unburnt propane. So that makes for kind of a dangerous situation. Anyway, so that's where I'm at. Like I said, this is more of an update. I got a lot of tweaking to do on it. I did put a layer, and you probably can't really even see, but I did put a layer of the refractory cement just right here, because whenever the torch is in there, I figured with that angle it'd probably hit on there anyways. So that's where we're at with this. So I still got some tweaking to do. I was able to melt a little bit of aluminum, but still a long ways to go. Alright, let me show you what else we got going on. So I don't know if I explained what I was doing. The main reason why I'm making this Forge or Foundry is I want to melt my own aluminum, and then I can turn pieces of aluminum on the lathe into whatever I see fit, whatever I need to turn. And one of the first things I'll be turning, what I'll do is I will melt up the aluminum and put it into a tube. I'll heat up the aluminum and then pour it into tubes of various sizes. I'll probably get some bigger ones somewhere. But anyways, and then once it cools, it'll shrink just a little bit, and I'll be able to pull the solid chunk of aluminum out. But one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be making a 2x72 belt grinder. And I need to turn the wheels on that. So if you look here, I got a major score. So this is some pretty thick stuff. As you can see, this is some pretty thick stuff. We're looking at 3/4 of an inch. This is about 1.5 inches. Yeah, about almost 1.5 inches. We got 1/4 inch there. That's probably 1/4 inch. 3/4 inch. That's this one here, and that's 1 inch. But I got all this scrap steel for free. There's a bridge company, or a company that makes bridges, and I stopped in. I was talking to the guy about a completely different issue, and I asked him what he did with his scrap steel, and he's like, "Oh, we just scrap it." And I told him, I was like, "Hey, I'll pay you scrap metal prices for some of the pieces you don't want." And so he's like, "Well, we'll come back here and let's see what we got." So he took me to the back, and he beat me up and robbed me. No, I'm just kidding. He took me to the back, and he said, and so I just picked out these few things, and he had a few other things that I kind of wanted, but I didn't want to be stingy at the same time. And he's like, "No, you can have those." I'm like, "I don't know you anything?" He's like, "Nah, that's nothing." And so I think next week or something I'm going to buy some donuts and drop it off for him. He didn't have to give this to me for free. I want to keep him happy, so in the future, if I need something else, he'll hook me up. And so now I'm going to be working with some pretty thick steel, some pretty heavy stuff. I need a new tool. Hang on. So since I'm going to be working with that really thick steel, I gotta get a bigger heavy duty grinder.
So I kind of believe in the philosophy of pay once, cry once kind of thing, or buy once, cry once. And this was on Amazon for $132 on the Black Friday sale, so I had to jump on that. It's the D28499X. This is the 15 amp, 5.3 horsepower, 6,000 RPM. That's a beast. That is a true beast. So we'll see. It uses the 7-inch and the 9-inch cutoff wheel and grinder wheels. And so that should be able to hog through a lot of the really thick stuff pretty quick. And then I can come back with my hand grinder, the 4.5-inch, and kind of finesse it a little bit better. But I'll do a better video review once we get to that part of this grinder and see how bad that sucker is. Also, if you want to pick one of these up, I'll put a link in the description, so you can get one of those. The last thing I got is a fan. Have no idea about it. I actually found it in a dumpster. Go ahead and plug it in, see if anything happens first. Okay. That might be good. Get some pliers. So it vibrates quite a bit, but it works. And so kind of tape the control box on there or whatever. Not that big a deal. Yeah, I don't understand people. They just throw stuff away. Worst case scenario, the motor works, so I could repurpose the motor for something else. If I can't get the, I bet the blades are just bent. I bet the blades are just maybe bent to one side that makes it wobble or something. Cool. So free fan. All right. Well, let's see if I can not pull anything, and I still have a back after I'm done unloading all this. That one's a pretty big piece. So yeah, it's gonna be pretty heavy. I'm thinking about making the 2x72 out of this piece. This will basically be the base, and then have the electric motor maybe kind of on this side. I got to figure everything out. I don't know. But anyways, yeah, so let me unload this. Boys got to go to Boy Scouts, and the wife will be home pretty soon, so I'll probably have just enough time to throw this off on the ground and go do all that stuff. Alright, thanks for watching. Y'all comment, rate. We'll talk to you later. See ya.